The work you do as a homemaker is so important. The simple daily tasks that keep a home going have great value. Whether you're making the bed, wiping down the countertop, preparing meals, or just sharing a hug with a little one, it all matters. Today I'm starting off getting some dusting done here in my bedroom, and I didn't even make my bed yet because I knew that I would be standing on it to get to some deeply needed dusting here in the bedroom. This is a chore that I really don't love. It's always been one that I kind of tend to put off. So early on in my homemaking, I had to find the motivation to actually do the dusting. And I found that by just thinking about the reasons why I dust. And it's not just to check it off my chore list. Dusting is for the health and the well-being of my family. And it makes my home just much more comfortable when there isn't a layer of dust everywhere that you're trying to set a cup or just touch a table. Whenever I think about the reasons behind all my homemaking chores, it makes me realize just how important homemaking is, and it motivates me even more. The dusting cloth that I'm using is just a microfiber cloth that I got from Grove years ago. I have not ordered from Grove in the longest time. I don't know. Well, I say that, but maybe it's been like 5 years or so. And I used to order from them, especially when they were just like really popular and all over YouTube videos and blog posts and things. But I found that they just were pretty expensive, and it was just an expense that I didn't need anymore. But I do use this microfiber cloth all the time, and I have a couple others that I've ordered from Amazon as well. But they are just so nice to use in cleaning, especially with dusting, because they pick up the dust so well. Today, I'm not even using an actual dusting spray. I'm just using a little bit of a water on my microfiber cloth, and that picks up the dust really well. Sometimes I do use an all-purpose spray that you can use on electronics and wood and ceramics and things like that, but today I just went with really simple, just wanted to pick up the dust. And so I did finish there in the bedroom, and then I came here in the living room and got some needed dusting done. It was also time to water my plants, so I picked those up and took them to the kitchen and just watered all of them. I usually just set them in the sink and turn on the faucet and let that water sit in all the plants, and then I just have the plants sitting on the counter and let all the water kind of sit for a while so that they don't get water spilled on my trunk and my other areas that I put the plants in. But I love just seeing the plants here in the kitchen. I think it's so pretty having all the green in here. And I wish I had just different lighting in my kitchen so that I could keep my plants in here, but it's okay. It's nice to just see them sitting here on the countertop. And as you can see, maybe the curtain blowing in the wind. We have been having the windows open lately. It's been just so nice, just beautiful spring days here. I'm still dealing with allergies, and so it's kind of like a catch-22. Like, you enjoy having the windows open and all the fresh air, but at the same time, it messes with my allergies a bit, but to me, it's worth it. So I'm just going to finish dusting here in the living room and getting all of it cleaned up and just fresh and clean for the week. putting out all of my spring decor for at least the end of May, and probably the end of May I will put out some of my patriotic decor. It's so crazy to think that that time is coming up, but I usually put out my red, white, and blue stuff around Memorial Day and then leave it up through the summer, at least through July with July 4th. And I really love red, white, and blue decorations. So I've been kind of thinking about what I'm going to do, but it's nice to still have all of the spring flowers and things up. So I'm also going to get some supper started here this morning, just in the crock pot. I'm putting in some chicken. We were having chicken Parmesan sliders, which is a family favorite. So I will show that at the end of today's video. And it's super simple, but delicious. Oh my goodness, you guys. I'm down here in my creepy laundry room. You all have seen this before if you watched my videos before, but I was putting some laundry in and I was like, I'm gonna check the dryer, see if there's any clean clothes in there from over the weekend that I didn't get out and fold. I have wet towels in the dryer. I never started the dryer, and so now I have these damp towels. I bet they smell awful. I haven't tried to smell them yet, but I'm gonna have to wash them and put some vinegar in, and we'll see. Oh my goodness. Has anyone else ever done that? I could not believe that I had done that with the towels, but I did get them washed and cleaned, and they smell better now. I just had to put some vinegar in with the liquid soap, and they turned out fine. But I could not believe that I had done that. I don't know. Sometimes my mind just doesn't work for me. But anyways, now I am back up in the living room, and I needed to get some vacuuming done behind the couch. There's always little pieces that, fall in between the cracks. And we also, our couch, I've shown it before when I showed my behind the scenes kind of home tour, that there's a rip in the couch. And so the cushion is showing through, and little pieces fall from the cushion down here, and just, it needs vacuumed, it needs cleaned. So I did some dusting back here, and then I vacuumed it up, and I'm gonna just put the couch back where it belongs. And I try to do this about once a month or so. I've been just trying to go through each room of our house and just give it a good deep cleaning, like deep dusting, vacuuming all the little nooks and crannies that I don't usually get to this spring. I've just been trying to go through each room and do that just to give it an extra good cleaning. So here I am just vacuuming off the couch, and I actually do this pretty regularly, but it gets crumbs on it. My kids sometimes eat on the couch, and it just always needs a good vacuuming down and sometimes a wiping down. So I'm going to take care of that here. So like I said, we're having chicken Parmesan sliders, and you can totally use any kind of chicken for these sliders. I just decided to use chicken that we already had and just cook it in the crock pot with a little salt and pepper. But you could use rotisserie chicken that's already cooked. You could use chicken tenders. I've used that before. But I just used a couple of chicken breasts that I had in the freezer. I had thawed them out that morning and then just popped them in the crock pot for, maybe 3 or 4 hours on low. And then all I had to do was just cut them up. I wanted them to be in kind of slices, not like just shredded chicken, but more like slices. So that's why I didn't just shred it with a fork. I also make my own marinara pasta sauce. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going to open up my can of tomato sauce, and then I add in simple seasonings, just a little bit of sugar to sweeten it, and then some salt, some Italian seasoning, parsley, garlic powder. You could add onion powder, you could add just all kinds of like parsley or oregano, whatever flavoring you like. Making your own tomato sauce or marinara sauce is actually really simple. And I've been doing this for years now. I think it saves me some money. And then also, of course, I just know the ingredients that are going in it. And then I'm just using the Aldi brand of the King's Hawaiian rolls to save a little bit of money that way. And I'm just using a dozen. I know some slider recipes call for 24, but for our family of 4, we only need a dozen. There's always leftovers even with a dozen. So I'm just cutting it in half. And then after you cut it in half, you put some of melted butter and garlic powder, and I think it had Italian seasoning in it as well. And you just put that on the bottom layer of the rolls. And then add your cheese slices. I used provolone cheese slices, but you could totally use mozzarella slices if you liked that better. And then you add your pasta sauce and your chicken, another layer of pasta sauce, another layer of cheese slices. We also added some Parmesan cheese to ours. And then you add the top of the rolls and add your butter mixture on top of that. And then you just put some foil on top and you put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. And then you take the foil off for the last 5 minutes. And they're just such a delicious meal, and it's an easy dinner idea to have with your family. For the sides, I kept it super simple and made some cauliflower. I had a bag of frozen cauliflower, and I'm not sure why I opened the bag first. Usually I just microwave the bag in the container, but for some reason I opened it up and we just used it that way. And then I also had these chips. A friend of mine had purchased these from Sam's and wanted me to try them. So we just had those on the side with our chicken sliders, and it was a super easy to delicious meal, and we all loved it. For the cauliflower, all I did was add a little bit of salt, and they turned out really good. So thank you for joining me in today's video.